Okay, so you're curious about using AI to boost your business,
Mm.
right? You sent over this talk from Trifan events, and honestly, it's really got the gears turning.
Yeah, they're deep into AI tech, and what struck me was how the speaker emphasized using AI to, empower businesses.
Not just replace everyone with robots.
Exactly. It's about working smarter. They address that whole robot takeover fear head on.
Which, let's be real, is the elephant in the room for a lot of people.
Totally. But they flipped the script and said, hey, what if AI took those tedious tasks off our plate? Then we're free to focus on the strategy, the creativity, the stuff we excel at.
Right, like playing to our strengths. I think that'll resonate with you, especially with how much you value efficiency and really digging into the work.
100%. And the speaker was adamant that AI is evolving so fast, it's way beyond just ChatGPT now.
It's kind of mind-blowing, to be honest.
Yeah, they highlighted how it's weaving its way into every facet of how businesses operate.
It's like everywhere you turn, AI is popping up. I mean, even Apple's jumping in with both feet now. That says something.
Definitely. It's a turning point, I think. But the speaker made a point of saying, hold your horses, we still need humans. It's this whole human in the loop concept.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
So not just setting AI loose and hoping for the best.
No way. The speaker was very clear about that. We need people to make sure things are accurate, that AI is being used ethically. It's about oversight.
So it's like you might have this super-powered AI race car, but you still need a skilled driver behind the wheel.
Perfect analogy. And they actually shared how Trifan events restructured their own team, didn't fire everyone, they redefined roles to make the most of AI's strengths.
Walking the walk, not just talking the talk.
Exactly. And they're constantly keeping up with the latest, on LinkedIn, engaging with the AI community.
Not resting on their laurels. I like that.
It's that proactive learning that's crucial in a field that changes so rapidly.
Huh.
You strike me as someone who likes to stay ahead of the curve, so I think you'd appreciate that.
You're not wrong. So let's get into the how-to here. The speaker broke down AI for revenue growth into 4 areas: sales, marketing, keeping customers happy, and then just making everything run smoother. Operational efficiency, I think they call it.
That kind of structure is perfect, right? You can really dig into each piece without getting overwhelmed.
Totally. So sales first. They really hit on something that I think a lot of people struggle with, cutting through the competition
Yeah.
and just creating demand when the market is so saturated.
Yeah, those are pain points for sure. Everyone wants to stand out. But this is where AI comes in with what they call lead scoring.
Oh, yeah. I've heard that term thrown around. So how does that work in real life, not just, buzzword territory?
Imagine, instead of manually going through hundreds of leads, AI analyzes tons of data to figure out who's actually likely to buy.
And it can do that.
Yep, it looks at their online behavior, demographics, all of it. It's about predicting who's worth your time. That's lead scoring in a nutshell.
Working smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
Music to my ears.
Right. Speaking of which, they also talked about using AI for sales forecasting.
Okay, now you've got my attention. Although I'll admit I'm picturing like crazy algorithms and spreadsheets.
It's way simpler than you think. AI takes your past sales data and it predicts future trends, revenue, all of it really accurately.
No more gut feelings.
Exactly. AI takes the guesswork out.
So basically, ditch the spreadsheets and let AI handle it, but with actual data, not just hunches. Sign me up. Time-saving and data-driven, that's my kind of approach.
Totally. And while they mentioned specific tools like lead space and infer, the speaker was clear that it's about finding what works for you. They even suggested starting simple, like with Google Analytics if you're already using it.
Love that. Practical advice.
Mm.
Speaking of finding the right fit, they were also big on testing different large language models for marketing.
The LLMs.
Yeah, exactly. Like comparing different types of paint before you redo your whole living room,
Find the right tool for the job. That's classic deep dive thinking, right? Going beyond the surface level.
For sure. And they shared this really cool tip about training your LLM to sound like your brand. Now, that sounds kind of next level, but how does that even work?
It's like you're teaching it your brand's voice. So you feed it examples of your best writing.
Blog posts, marketing copy, that sort of thing.
Exactly. Even internal stuff can help. You're training it to be consistent.
So no more of that generic, robotic-sounding content.
Exactly. Which, speaking of robotic, the speaker told this hilarious story about spotting AI-generated content on LinkedIn.
Oh, tell me you haven't been there. It's like that uncanny valley thing. You can just tell something's off.
Right. It's like, what's even the point if it doesn't sound human?
Totally. And this goes back to that training thing. AI can be amazing for content, but it's got to connect on a human level. Makes you think. Now, you mentioned prompt engineering before, and I gotta be honest, that one's still a little fuzzy for me.
Okay, so think of it as speaking AI's language. You're crafting your requests so you get the best possible result.
So it's not just what you ask, but how you ask it.
Exactly. The speaker gave this fun example, like using AI to generate recipes based on whatever's in your fridge.
Okay, now that's something I can relate to. My fridge is a black box of culinary possibilities most of the time.
Right. So you're giving the AI clear instructions, parameters.
So the better the prompt, the better the result. This is like having the cheat code for AI or something.
Kind of. And it applies to anything, from writing to code to just brainstorming. It's a valuable skill.
Got it. Okay, so we've talked sales, we've talked marketing. What about keeping those customers happy? Customer retention.
Right. So the speaker talked about how overwhelmed customer service teams are these days. It's a common problem. You want to give great service, but you're drowning in inquiries.
And we've all been on the receiving end of that, right? Long wait times, generic responses. It's frustrating.
The worst. That's where AI chatbots come in.
Okay, those are getting pretty good these days.
They're getting really smart, 24/7 support, answering FAQs instantly.
It's like having an army of virtual assistants. But where's the human in the loop with all this? We've all had those chatbot experiences that went hilariously wrong.
Oh, for sure. Chatbots are great for the routine stuff, but we still need humans to keep an eye on things.
Makes sense. Can't just let them run wild.
Exactly. The speaker stressed that you need a team monitoring, making sure things are running smoothly, and jumping in when a human touch is needed.
Finding that balance, right? So AI doing the heavy lifting, but still making sure the customer experience is good. Okay, last but not least, operational efficiency. That one feels like it hits home for anyone drowning in tedious tasks.
For real. They use the example of manual data entry.
Ugh, my arch nemesis.
Yep.
Spreadsheets and I, we have a complicated relationship.
They're the worst. Think about all those hours spent just inputting data, the errors, the frustrations.
Remind me, so AI to the rescue. What's the alternative?
Automating it all. Imagine you scan documents, AI extracts the data, puts it right where it needs to go automatically. They did mention some technical terms like OCR, NLP, RPA.
Okay, those are some acronyms. Can you break it down for those of us who aren't, like, tech wizards?
Sure. OCR is basically teaching computers to read text. NLP is teaching them to understand our language.
Okay, I'm following.
And RPA is like having software robots do those repetitive tasks for you.
So it's like giving your business a digital makeover, streamlining everything behind the scenes. And again, it's not replacing humans, it's freeing them up.
Exactly. They even give a great example using ChatGPT to do expense reports.
Now you're speaking my language. Anything to avoid those receipts and expense codes.
Right. Reclaim those hours. Focus on the work that matters.
I love it. Working smarter, not harder. Okay, so AI for operational efficiency, check. Now, they briefly touched on something called AI agents. They mentioned an agent Herbie. What was that all about?
Think of it as superpowered AI assistants. Like the speaker talked about this agent Herbie analyzing resumes, generating interview questions.
Wait, seriously?
Yep, saves a ton of time during hiring.
That's wild. That sounds like AI agents are still in the early stages.
Totally. It's moving so fast, it'll be interesting to see where things go. But even with all this incredible tech, it's important to remember that it's not just about the tech itself, right?
Right. It's got to be about more than just shiny new tools.
Exactly. The speaker said their biggest hurdle with clients, it's not the AI, it's getting people on board.
Oh, the human factor.
It always comes back to that, doesn't it?
Always. It's like, how do you steer a giant ship in a new direction?
Yeah.
Takes time. Everyone's got to be rowing together.
Love that analogy. So where does leadership fit into all of this? Remember that visionary leader idea? That's key here. It's about guiding your team, showing them how AI benefits them, empowering them.
Not just saying do this, but showing them the why behind it.
Exactly. It's about painting a picture of the future together, inspiring change, not forcing it. And as you're thinking about AI in your own world,
Yeah. How do I actually apply this?
right, how do you create that culture of innovation, that collaboration? How do you help people see AI as a tool, not a threat?
So many good questions. On a more practical level, the speaker left everyone with a challenge. Take one small step today. Explore AI in your business.
Doesn't have to be huge, just something. Try a new tool, experiment with a different prompt.
Dip your toes in the water.
Exactly. You might be surprised what you find.
It's like that saying, the journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step.
Or, in this case, maybe a single prompt.
Right. Who knew prompts could be so powerful?
Right. This whole deep dive, it's really opened my eyes to what AI can do for businesses.